I'm gonna call it the headquarters. All right, we're gonna call it the headquarters today. So I'm extremely happy about some of the progress that has been made this weekend. Despite the technical difficulties, literally technical difficulties with the 3D printer, but you already know how your boy do, man. Your boy stay cooking, man. The stove never gets cut off over here. You know what I mean? So we stay doing our motherfucking thing. So for those who are watching, if you are watching on Instagram or if you are watching on YouTube for your visual pleasure, I flipped it around because usually I'm on the horizontal, recording, but today I'm on the vertical recording. So I want to see how I'm saying. Comes to TikTok and all of that, you know what I'm saying? This shit looks so phenomenal. I got so much good feedback from this. This was so dope. Then we got the Lionel Messi bus, with the blue ivory. It kind of looked like a blue marble-ish ivory. You know what I mean? That shit looks super dope. We got the trophies. We got the keychain trophies over here for the World Cup. And then we got the little mini World Cup trophies you can just put on your desk like I got on my table over here. And of course, can't forget the I Gets Busy custom business signs along with the Mitten Marquee 3D printing business sign. You know what I mean? So that's what we do around here. And the Bitcoin gnome, always got to rep some crypto over here. You know what I mean? So we got the lucky Bitcoin gnome over there. And Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, man, over there. So I'm extremely we getting World Cup ready over here today. So I'm extremely happy about, ready, man. I hope y'all getting World Cup ready, y'all. So I gotta ask my co-host Blue, and we gotta ask Just Cheeze how they doing today. We gonna let ladies go first. Blue, how you doing today? How you feeling? I appreciate you tapping in.
Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm doing well. It's a busy week, busy weekend. I would definitely say. But I can't complain. Blessed and highly favored. So looking forward to chopping it up with the family. How are you guys doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you, holding it down and being a part of the TCK Web3 News. You're the new co-host, man. So I'm happy about that. I appreciate you tapping in. Just Cheese, how you feeling, man? How was your weekend?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The floor is yours. How you doing, brother? How was your
I'd say you're pretty good. No complaints. Friday, right, we were at the event, World Cup ready event. That was pretty interesting. Then we went to the F1 event after that, and that was a good time as well. Yesterday, took some time to work on some scholarly things and building some agents over here. Some really cool agents, I would say. But outside of that, it's been a pretty productive weekend.
dope, dope, man? I'm looking forward to the agents and see what tasks and what skills you develop for the agents, man. So I'm extremely excited about the future of what everybody's building at ABC, but in particular, man, what you got cooking up over there on Skylark, man. So yeah, that event. Shout out to Sheila, shout out to John and the whole team with Created. You know, they've curated a dope session. This is probably like the third or fourth session where they had a World Cup ready event, and I was live recording that, so you can go on the YouTube and check that out. So that's a live recording of being ready and some of the things that getting ready to scale, you know, and you got to think about the potentially what minimum quarter mil to 500,000 people they said. So that's the thing about it, man. I do know there were a bunch of people who were open off of the 3D printed items that I had displayed over there. So you know, me and Cheese, we were in the building and we were able to show our items, our 3D printed items to people, and because we are World Cup ready, you know, we cooking up as we speak. So it was beautiful to see how many businesses are in there, whether it's catering, whether it's hospitality, whether it's transportation. There were so many, you know, black business owners in there, you know, getting World Cup ready, man. So, yeah, man, this is an opportunity. This billions of dollars that's going to be coming to the city. So I recommend if you have a business to, you know, gear up, man. You got about 90 days to this event come out here. So it's the beginning of June to the second week in July. So make sure y'all are World Cup ready, y'all, if you are in the Atlanta area. All right. So, yes, again, shout out to the good folks at Created. They were also part of Cohort 7 at ABC. You know, I was a part of that too. So they gave us the opportunity to be mentored in our company and develop a great pitch deck. So, you know, we can get in front of these investors and fund it, man. So shout out to everybody who was a part of Cohort 7. All right. So with that being said, my co-hosts sound like they had a great weekend. And we're going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into it, y'all. So shout out to the good folks, Terminus Dow. The good folks at Terminus Dow, man. Phenomenal event over the past 2 weeks that we had. And the photos are rolling out. So more and more photos are coming out. The videos are coming out. It turned out super dope. Shout out to Stan with Crypto. We were able to give away some money there. That was dope. You know, as far as just being able to host the event, that shit was so dope. Then, man, we're at the Rice Center every Thursday, and we've been getting some good foot traffic coming through to our session. So if you don't know, Atlanta Blockchain Center, they actually moved. Okay, it was a pit. The founder, but temporarily we will be at the Rice Center. Okay, so the Rice Center is located a couple blocks down from the city tension. 40 or so that they're gonna be out here. That section, so they even bought the rights to the dome for those 40 days, which is crazy. So I thought that was phenomenal, man. So yeah, Atlanta Blockchain Center. We are at the Rice Center. We right down the block from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for now, and we're right down the block from the bookstore gallery. So we was able to, after our event at the Rice Center, we rolled right down to the bookstore gallery. Shout out to the good folks down there. You know, our guy Justin, our guy Kyle, you know, our guy Private, and the ladies down there, Yvonne, you know what I'm saying, Danielle. So, yeah, man, good folks, good community. So I'm glad to be a part of that as well, man. So, yeah, man. Without further ado, let's get right into it, y'all. I'm going to highlight some of the stories we're going to go over. All right, so we're going to talk about this CBDC ban that our House, man, the U.S. House of Representatives, they actually, I'm happy about that. We got some bipartisan activity on that. We're also going to talk about some of the disruptions that is taking place in the middle of the war. All right, so we're going to talk about that. Also, shout out to Vu. She is another member of the Atlanta Blockchain Center. She is from South Africa. We're going to talk about this electric company called Escom. All right, man, they're going to use some of their surplus of energy to start Bitcoin mining. So I'm looking forward to that story as well. Also, we're going to talk about Google's new Android XR, so that's mixed reality, smart glasses. But they're using Gemini AI to edit photos in real time. So these are some of the stories we're going to talk about. And you know, your boy Justin Bieber, man, he took a big L. He took a big L, man, on this Bored Ape NFT that he bought. Talk about as well. Oscars is tonight, all right? So, and Oscars tonight. They are great contenders if you some bets, man, because they got get the best actor of the year or the best actor in a major film. You're gonna have the best film of the year. So that I'm looking forward to that. I think Sinners might take that. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, man. They've been kicking ass, man. So if you're interested and if you got some knowledge in the movie space and you feel like your knowledge can pay you off, hey, you might want to jump on Kalshi or Polymarket, make you those bets, man. All right. Shout out to them. So let's get right into these stories, y'all. Let's get right into these stories. And also, I'd be remiss if I don't shout out the reason why I was playing Mary J. Blige at the beginning, because it is Women's History Month, okay? So I was playing one of my favorite Mary J. Blige songs. It's called I Love You. I was playing the remix with Smith and Wesson, you know what I'm saying? And I missed the hip hop and R&B blends, because now it's all of us want to be singers and the singers want to be rappers. But y'all in Web3, shout out to Blue, of course, on the pod. Shout out to Tia, she holding it down. Shout out to Docu Hero. Shout out to Cass Vegas all the way out there in Hawaii. All right, shout out to all of the ladies that's part of ABC. Man, we got so many ladies representing down there at Atlanta Blockchain Center, man. So shout out to the ladies, man. Women History Month. So go ahead and continue to make history. All right. So let's talk about the first story. The first story we're gonna get into. All right. We're gonna talk about this CBDC ban. All right. So this is a temporary bill. All right. So United States Senate passed a bipartisan bill, all right, known as the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, by an 89-10 vote that unexpectedly includes a temporary ban on launching a U.S. central bank digital currency. Okay, so the provision will block the Federal Reserve from issuing a retail digital dollar until the end of the year, though the central bank could still conduct research developed on the technology. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So while the bill primarily focuses on addressing housing shortages by reducing construction barriers, expanding financial for affordable housing, financing for affordable housing, institutional purchases of large single homes, the CBDC amendment highlights growing political skepticism towards government-issued digital currency. So, yeah, I like the fact that this was introduced in a housing bill. It's literally, called the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, and they actually stuck in an anti-CBDC, ban. I like that. I like the CBDC ban. So I got to ask my co-hosts, what do you guys think about this, especially that the Clarity Act has not, got a lot of traction lately? It kind of stalled a little bit with the yield on stable coins, but I feel like we still got some kind of, acknowledgement of this space and some kind of regulation, an anti CBDC. All right, so what y'all think about this? I gotta ask my co-host, Just Cheese, NFT. Who wanna go first? Excuse me, NFT Blue. I'm sorry, Blue.
Yo, uh,
Cheese.
right. The thing is that uh, and Georgia's contingency. So, interesting thing here is when you really look at how some of these bills are constructed, it's causality in a way where, for now, we don't have the rules figured out around CBDCs. But if a CBDC was to come into play with the way the current construct of this housing bill is about to go out, it could potentially allow for uh, uh, bad actors to insert uh, stipulations on how people can get funded for housing in the future. So it's a great tactic to what the House did. What they're doing now is by including that gives them to see how the industry plays out without while also allowing for it in the event that it becomes a problem. And then that doesn't mean though in the future that doesn't mean that they reintroduce it. They don't where that a CBDC could be mentioned, but it's best to make it illegal for now or ban it for now.
Nah, Cheese, great point, great point. So, it's good that you mentioned that, our politicians is having a foresight going forward on, no matter what's the outcome or whatever they decide to do with the Clarity Act, there's somehow, some way just making sure the things we don't want is being passed in other bills. So, yeah, I'm glad they highlighted that, and great point, Cheese. Blue, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think what immediately stands out in this article vote, it was like 89-10
Mm.
in the Senate. Kind of rare. And it shows the concern about central banks. And it's coming from both sides. Or seem super cautious about the idea of the federal government issuing a digital dollar directly to the public. Thank God. Another interesting part is where the debate appears. It wasn't in crypto or like the financial technology bill. It showed up inside a housing bill. Like a bill that was addressing housing shortages suddenly became a part of the national conversation about digital money, which shows how important this topic really is. And people should just kind of pay attention to all the distractions that are happening, and the votes and the things that are happening in the middle of the night. Like the provisions is like fairly simple. It's like doing a CBDC until can't even issue one of those until like 2030. So a retail CBDC would be like a digital dollar directly from the central bank that everybody could use and hold. It's just not going to happen for a while, you know? But basically, when that does happen, there goes your privacy, your control, and how the financial system will operate literally takes over the thing that we're fighting for. And I think the three concerns are surveillance of our transactions, right? Financial, the distribution of it, and what the banking systems are fighting for right now. That's what's taking so long, for the bill to get signed, because there are certain people that have to be let in, if that makes sense. It's like you have to give. These were able to get in. The adoption and the rules. I'm not going to speak too much on that part. We can get Ed to talk about it. And I would say right now there's going to be a tug of war, and the big takeaway is it's going to become the main part of the economy, and basically how the policies roll out. I think it starts with the things that they're going to pass, and we should just listen and watch, hit Ant up to figure out and understand what those bills mean, and really understand what that language is saying. But that's my take.
Nah, Blue, I appreciate that take, and yeah, we definitely gonna have to stay involved in everything on this crypto and our representatives like first and active, politicians. Eyes on this. So, and both of their thoughts until 2030. So, depending on what political party wants to be pro CBDC, so far it's looking like it's the Republicans that are anti CBDC. We will monitor the situation, keep you guys posted. All right. So, there's an event called Token 2049. All right. Shout out to our guy D Web, because I believe he went there a couple of years ago. That's out in Dubai. All right. So it has been postponed because of the heightened security risk in the UAE. All right. So y'all already know what's going on. All right. So there's multiple countries that has been attacked because U.S. bases are all throughout the Middle East. So this is the reason why other countries have been drawn into this, mainly because we're unfortunately a ticket you cannot do this event because it will be postponed. But Bitcoin Las Vegas. So you can have free access to the events at Bitcoin Las Vegas. All right. So I believe that's going down in April. All right. So if you got a ticket, you was trying to go to Token 2049, sorry. All right. So it's postponed. All right. So it is postponed, and it was actually due to be scheduled in April 2027. So That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to push it back to April 2027. So, what's going on? The organizer said security risks, travel disruptions, and logistical uncertainty made it difficult to safely host the event in 2026, prompting the delay to protect the attendees and participants. Conference typically in Dubai regularly attracts thousands of crypto founders, investors, exchanges, and policymakers, and is known for major announcements across the blockchain industry. So this honed into April 2020 set another event, the F1 arc down there in the interlock. We was down there that past Friday. Man, that shit was super lit. But crypto's multi-million dollar F1 sponsorships, they are under pressure as the Middle East war disrupts major events. So there's a Formula One event, all right, that has been canceled. This Formula One event was in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. All right, so these were the Grand Prix races. So it was due to the security risk tied to tensions involving Iran. All right, so this raised major concerns about the impact on major cryptocurrency sponsorship deals tied to the sport. So you got Hedera, they're actually teamed up with Audi and other companies like OKX, they sponsored McLaren for Formula One. Now they had to cancel. All right, and they reduced a lot of advertising exposure. Cut 26. Excuse me, the season scheduled from 24 races to 22 races. So I know that some of the scheduling and how they set up these Formula One races throughout the globe, but yeah, man, there's a bunch of crypto companies who have partnerships with F1 teams, and because of the tension in the Middle East, we have two major events: Token 2049 and a Grand Prix race, a F1. This is big boy racing. This is big money. These cars ain't cheap. So I gotta ask my co-host, what's your thoughts on the tension in the Middle East and all of these events obviously being postponed for people's safety? So what do you think is going to be the outcome of this war time frame wise? Do you think we're going to go into her? Do you think it could be over within a month? Okay, Blue.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that's a little question. I would say I feel like it have a forecast. You don't know, because we're coming to the United States. FIFA is one of them. So it's very unfortunate, because from like a business standpoint, if you're a company and you're raising funds to go to Singapore and go to Token, and then everything that you've planned for that whole year, because of the war, that has been paused. And they're saying in April, right? And so hopefully people can either get their flights reimbursed, because a lot of times, if you think about it, they won't. On the plane, it's like, all right, yeah, everybody on the plane is going to this conference. We all know we're going to Ether or something like that. Actually, that's not what the deal was when we were flying to 49, because half the plane was coming for the race, for the Formula One race. And so it was like, that was wild. So it was like a really big mixed crowd, and it was a cool experience because you would be like, "Hey, are you here for the crypto conference?" Da, 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 da. And they're like, "Nah, actually, I'm not. I'm here for F1." But tell me about your conference that you're having. And that was like the conversations. But it's devastating, what it's doing to the state of our space, for those builders. So I'm just praying that new flight. Unfortunately, I think this is going to go for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, Blue, like you said, reimbursement is gonna be sticky. It's gonna be real sticky because, like I said, they are postponing this until April of 2027. They were, I'm assuming, was supposed to have it in April 2026, but they postponing it. So, just like you were saying, man, it's a very expensive trip, and there's multiple events. That I'm glad you were fortunate enough to go out there and experience that at least one time, and to see that you had people there for other conferences, like the F1, and you was going there for the crypto stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of disruption. It's stopping a lot of money. There's money always going to be made in wars, but there's going to be other things that's going to take a hit on these economies who go for these events. Fortunate, but yeah, yeah, hopefully these people can get there.
Yeah, Blue highlighted a lot. Thinking about it, the crypto companies see something in F1, right? And that's why so many of them are participating and sponsoring sport. F1 is an emerging sport as it's breaking into new markets, and if you've been paying attention, you see movements like the arcade is one way that they're looking to bring more people into the sport. They have the movie that came out last year. That's another way of bringing people into the sport, right? So they're trying to build a sport that used to be solely for the ultra rich, and it still is, but at least from a visual standpoint, make it more accessible to the everyday people. So that's something that actually embodies their brand to F1 because it's emerging. So Hedera, Coinbase, Sui, Gate.io, OKX, Binance, they're all in there, right? And then on top of that, Crypto.com is one of the main sponsors. And while holistically it's contributed to the sport, it also impacts when stuff like this happens, right? It's no fault of the sport that race will not be happening in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia this year, right? But that's eyes that won't see those logos on the car. So I think the crypto companies are just questioning, but not necessarily looking to really pull out. I think there's too much value in in leaving F as a marketing channel, right? They tried NBA for a bit, didn't really work, and it's working for some. Coinbase maybe, maybe Crypto.com, maybe the big names, right? But a lot of the smaller chains are able to break into the space, right, through F1 because of their the way that they can get sponsored for their cars. So it's an interesting dilemma, but I don't see anything changing. It's just unfortunate. I do think that they're thinking about adding 2 more races back onto the calendar in Japan. So I have 3 races in Japan, but we'll see if that happens. But nonetheless, the other concern to consider there as well is by the end of the year, end of the season rather, the last race of the season is typically in Dubai. So God willing that this war is over by then, but that could be another impact again. So we'll hold and see on that. But overall, I think this war is a waste of time and money. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes, from the oil, conspiracies of their weapons to date, right? For sure is that it's expensive as hell. So, and that's for us too. So we have a lot of interest over there, right? We have a lot of money into a lot of Middle Eastern countries, as well as the weapons that we're using. We're using a lot more AI intensified weapons than they are. So our spend is crazy, even though it's effective. It's definitely crazy. So I don't know how long we're going to keep on doing this. Hopefully something starts to shape up. But I think what I last read is that they're trying to figure out who to throw under the bus for this.
Cheese, man, you brought up a lot of great points. Blue, I'm gonna say these points right quick just so I won't forget some of the things that Cheese mentioned, and I'm gonna let you take the stage. From having the last race in Dubai, at the end of the year, and then we know terrorists, they like to take advantage of large, gatherings like that. So that definitely see they might just, yeah, you know what? Mentioning that they might have the other races in Japan. So, man, just thank you for that. And then at the same time, how expensive it is for us. Yes, hopefully, like you were saying, it's not long and drawn out, because America, we can't afford this. We see the oil prices right now. It went up $1 a gallon practically overnight. In some states, almost $2, especially if you're on the West Coast. You know what I mean? But you brought up a lot of great points, Cheese. You brought up a lot of great points. So, yes, we would definitely monitor the situation. Blue, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was just going to say, not to harvest too long on this conversation, but Cheese, what do you think people paid for their wraps on vehicles that, now that the race is canceled? What do you think?
That there's just 1 or 2 races that car won't be seen. The car will be seen in all the other races in the season. So I don't really take too much concern into that. It's like, for me, I look at it, though it is a war, it's no different than when the race gets canceled because it rained out. And during the pandemic, actually, they had to cancel one of the Italian races because of the social distancing issue, and there was two many breakouts in that area in Italy. So I think this is not like quote unquote normal natural impacts to sports, like when the NBA was in the bubble, right? It's a harsher effect on the crypto companies. They might spend about upwards, maybe 250 to 500K to have a logo on the car, and that's 200 to 500K for a blockchain company. That could be a lot.
Nah, great question, and I appreciate the detail that Cheese was able to give us on how these races are laid out, and some of the work that goes behind the scenes, man. So just like when they had to pivot, like you mentioned in the bubble with NBA, and then when some of these racing events get rained out, like you said, they are used to making a pivot, but especially in that area, man, you already know that's where most of the wealth is, man. Like there's an undocumented amount of wealth over there in the Middle East and Saudi Arabia, man. We don't know how much they got, man. They laugh at $1 billion over there. Like, it's crazy the amount of money they got. So, yeah, man. Cheese, thank you for that information. And Blue, for your commentary. All right. And we also got to highlight there's something that's going to be happening this Thursday. All right. Because these are international stories. The next story is going to be international, so it's only right we talk about ETH Global partnering up with Atlanta Blockchain. Say, please sign up to register. Tia already had the Luma sent out to the group. So if one of my co-hosts, if y'all don't mind, can y'all pin the link that Tia sent to the group? So if people are interested in pulling up to one of our events, we got Off the Chain Thursdays, but next week it's going to be a happy hour. All right, so that's from about 6 to 9 o'clock at the Rice Center. All right, so it's going to be ETH Global and the Atlanta Blockchain Center partnering up for their very first happy hour event, man. So I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to NFT and M-Dub, Marlon Williams for making that happen. You heard? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. So next Thursday is going to be lit, man. We're going to turn up a little bit. All right, so...
Yeah, and I dropped it in the comments for everybody. You can also follow the stories in the comments as well.
Appreciate, right? Yeah, come look good. So for the next story, again, we got to shout out to members of the Atlanta Blockchain Center. And she's from South Africa, and South Africa is one of the teams, one of the FIFA teams coming here to Atlanta, for the World Cup. They're doing something phenomenal. I really like this. All right, so South Africa's state electricity provider, Eskom, is considering offering discounted daytime power to Bitcoin mining companies as a way to use excess electricity created by the country's rapid growth in rooftop solar. Okay, so they're using excess energy from their solar panels and using that to just mine Bitcoin. I think this is superb. This is superb. All right, so as more homes and businesses generate their own solar energy, demand for grid power has dropped during daylight hours, leaving Eskom with unused capacity. All right. So the utility is exploring partnerships with continue for financially struggling company. All right. You know, even if we have solar panels on our home here, and there is a way we can convert that excess, that surplus energy into Bitcoin mining, man, that'll be great, man. So not only are you saving energy, you're actually generating income from this. And another thing I want to highlight is when it comes down to Bitcoin mining, there was an article, and again, shout out to NFT. She sent us, me and Just Cheese, we got a 3D printing company called Mint and Marquee. As you can see some of these items here. There was a way that somebody hooked up an ASIC miner to like the heating bed of a 3D printer, right? So that excess heat that comes off a 3D printer was connected to an ASIC miner, and they were mining Bitcoin with that, all right? And we also talked about Thursday, you know, the says we about mining, make that pivot into mining Bitcoin, man. So I think this is a great, great thing that South Africa is doing. So shout out to Eskom, that electric company in South Africa. And I got to get my thoughts from both my co-hosts, Just Cheese and NFT. And I believe, Blue, have you been to South Africa?
I have.
Great. Can you tell us about South Africa a little bit, and what's your thoughts on the story?
I can tell you about the story. I don't think I am the one to kind of educate on South Africa. I say that, they're definitely um, highly developed. Also want to say shout out to shout out Unique. He's from my thought process to the positives. And there's also like there's a little bit of like caution as well. I think this is an opportunity to really reshape the country's like electric grid, and just figuring out how to do that in a safe way where it's the electric grid and then there's the data centers that's going to come with that. And just making sure that they can build data centers in a way where it's not like it is here in the States, where literally like in DeKalb or DeKalb or however it's pronounced, if you're from the A, there's people standing outside with picket signs. There's people who are sick in Texas. I mean, companies that can provide like solutions to create clean data centers. And the Bitcoin, I think that and gas since the war started. So I think that this is a way that you can empower the people that you're kind of extracting the data and electricity from, and you can reward them with Bitcoin from mining, those locations and the things that they would, whatever those individuals endure, living in that network. But I think it's a great opportunity to kind of restructure some things where, it's needed for electricity and things like that.
Now, you brought up a great concern too, as far as when they have this surplus of energy, and now it's a good possibility that might come in. So, if I love the concerns that you brought out with this story as well too, and hopefully a lot more companies, looking for something like this, especially here in the States. But we got to do it ethically. We got to do it right.
This is great news.
You breaking up a little bit, brother. All right, Cheese, we can't hear you. I might have to bring you back up on stage. It looked like you might have got rugged, brother. So, Blue, go ahead and take the floor. I'm gonna send another request to Cheese so he can get up on here until he can get situated.
Oh, for sure. Side note, we were kind of talking about, what was it, just last Thursday, we were just talking about data centers and mining. There's companies that are announcing, these different things to attach to your household. And we were literally talking about, creating a whole community of solar power out of the different things that we can, build in the present tense. Like, I'm about to move, but I'm like, I want to make sure that I can have my water heater, mining. I want to make sure that I can connect the air conditioner, to be able to mine and get some solar panels and things like that. So it's like the energy that I'm paying for, especially here in Georgia, because there's already data center here, and we pay a high amount of electricity. So, yeah. How's it sounding? Can you hear me, T?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Yes, we heard you loud and clear. But nah, great points. Great points. Now, Cheese, I think you got up on.
Like in terms of being on the beach to up skiing on a mountain slope and in South Africa. So it's just the terrain ranges, right, and all the beautiful mountains up there provide the eye to the sun that is needed to be able to achieve this. So I say things like that, when we have our open fields over here in the United States, in the Midwest, they do similar things. And I think a lot of people are exploring these options. I read something today even that the government was, not the government, but the tech companies are coming together to creating plans to build their own electricity. So I think the innovation will create especially where companies are seeing that we need to keep going. Now, again, towards Blue's point, definitely need to be rewarded for what is our power, right? When you participate in this smart digital economy by earning rewards for running that, it's deep in. So I encourage all builders or companies and electrical companies to think about this space, right? Data centers that are being built, I encourage them to think about this space and ensure that people have a great, have a rewarding experience for powering the grids that are to come.
Man, y'all both made great points. So I'm gonna kind of combine some of the things you both mentioned from Cheese saying having these tech companies coming together and creating their own, basically electric company or electric grid, or however they trying to do it together. But that's interesting to see these tech companies doing that, and it makes sense for them. Blue was mentioning as she had a conversation, at least she said with Chris, about having a community of and devices people have in their houses. That's crazy, So I would actually love to see that. That was a great idea and a great concept that you guys thought of. So to merge kind of what these tech companies are trying to do, and actually rewarding, people through these deep end plays, man. That was a great point. Great point. Blue, you had your hand up?
Okay, yeah, I did. I put it down because I was like, I didn't want to take it too long. But to the point where the guy down here in Georgia, his name is like Julian Brown. He creates oil, gas from plastic, right? And so, because you gotta imagine people, because back in the day, this guy came up on a Spaces, right? And was basically like, hey, I run my house off of my Bitcoin. It heats my house, and it's on. And so, like, he was telling everybody how he, did that for his house. And if we could, they're working on, and just combine all that, empower people like, yo, you don't gotta pay electricity no more. All you gotta do is A, B, and C. So I just think it's pretty awesome. And we really don't need other companies. That's a whole nother game and a whole nother conversation. But we don't need other companies to have miners to, generate profit for us. So, but yeah, I thought this was a great topic.
Nah, great points, great points. I appreciate both of my co-hosts' thoughts because y'all nailed that. Y'all really nailed that. Y'all highlighted the some concerns and benefits, and I like when we talk about topics and we have difference of opinion, even the same opinion, but just different perspectives, and like you said, mentioning these are people who mining Bitcoin for, but then the concerns that you address is because people got rewarded for being a part of a system like that. I mean, too, as far as like tax credits for doing stuff like this or buying certain devices that can mine, because it's eco-friendly. So I appreciate both of y'all thoughts on that greatly. You know what? I gotta give a quick shout out to everybody listening, everybody tapped in on IG, everybody tapped in on YouTube. I went for the vertical, you know, camera angle on this. So if you're watching on YouTube and Instagram, we got the vertical popping because I'm gonna clip this up and put it on the reels for IG and you know the TikToks out there, the world. You know what I mean? We starting to get TikTok cracking a little bit. So this next story, I think this is dope too, man, because Cheese actually got some smart glasses. So I believe he got the Meta glasses. So we're gonna get into this. All right. So Google, they unveiled a new prototype of its new Android mixed reality smart glasses at Mobile World Congress 2026, showcasing how its Gemini AI by editing, interacting with real world is in real time. All right. Of a particular location. So while the still being captured, demonstrating a new form of real-time augmented photography. All right. So the device also functions as an AI assistant capable of live translation, object recognition, navigation, guidance, and video calls through Google Meet. So I know some of those features, Cheese, he was showing us when he bought the glasses to ABC, as far as like I know there was like a live translation or something like that. And just having the AI assistant. So I thought that was super, super dope. And it was also Dr. Jamal Montgomery. Yeah, he had those glasses too. So just to see the advancement of smart glasses, and now you can actually have photos being edited in real time with Gemini AI, which is, to me, that's fucking phenomenal, man. As a graphic designer, you know, editing photos, you know, I've had jobs. One of my corporate jobs was editing photos. You know? So I graphic design because you can see everybody got these new thumbnails now. It's all generated in AI, or the taste, so to speak, taste or curation. You know, it just cooks up. But to be able to alter a photo, especially a background, I really, really appreciate that. That's one of the tools I do use in AI that I actually use instead of photoshopping. I've been doing this shit for 2 decades, just taking people out of backgrounds. And as soon as AI came along, he was like, "Hey, you could just upload this photo, press a button, and you could just erase somebody out the background." I'm like, "Oh my god, that shit was literally." I probably spent hundreds of hours just cutting people and objects out of backgrounds, yo. So to do this in real time with smart glasses, and man, that means your photos can be cleaner for quicker posts. I really like this, man, and you can actually, I guess, change the background once you edit yourself. You can just drop another background, like you can be in front of a different location. So I really like this, and I know I don't think Cheese has these particular smart glasses, but this is a Google Android mixed reality smart glasses. So I gotta ask my listen. What's your thoughts? Who wanna go for first?
Yeah, I would convert. I am actually behind when it comes to like the glasses because like I'm behind as it regards to like the progression in the glasses. Meta has since the one I got mine, they released 2 more upgrades to their glasses. So they have the Oakleys, which are more sporty, right? And they can do a couple more things than what the Ray-Bans can do. which has been actually caught some virality in the last 2 weeks about what the can do. But then they also have people now. There's this comes with a ring on your finger, and it's up to play. You interact with things that in your so really that's Google's Google Maps update that they just came out with. Google My Maps AI, so they now have a new AI for Google Maps. And instead of asking basic questions like how do I go to the blockchain center, I could ask it questions like it's 2 o'clock. I could tell it, hey, it's 2 p.m. and I have a blockchain. I have an event at the blockchain center at 6. But in the meantime, I'd like to find some place to go and get some Thai food, and then it will route you to a best place that's for Thai food next to the blockchain, near the blockchain center, or in time to get to the blockchain center at 6. With stuff like that, you can imagine that your glasses on and you look at your eyes, you take the journey and you go on about your to create scenes in front of you with the AI. I think that's their shot at Apple, Meta, and the whole attempting to give us extraordinary experiences, right? Like the mixed reality type situation. And if you can just generate images, then soon enough you'll be able to generate worlds in front of you. So when you walk into a location, or if you're in a secret space, you can see something that everybody else doesn't see. So I think it's interesting to come. And the one last thing I'll say is this: this is all part of physical data capture, right? We're going to see a lot of new things come out over the next couple years because they need like you for you physical world data is needed for a lot of these models to run certain situations long term. And so that being said, just let's take that with a grain of salt, because we all know what Pokemon Go was. They ended up using all that data for.
Man, Cheese, you highlighted a lot of great points, man. A lot of great points. And I know, like, you were one of the first persons with the glasses, and I know another feature that probably had those Oakleys popping, excuse me, those Ray-Bans. Those Ray-Bans, you know, ASAP Rocky, he just dropped the album, then he just dropped a commercial with Nas recreating the belly, you know, with the new Ray-Ban glasses. So I don't know if those Ray-Bans actually are smart glasses as well, or they just cool ass Ray-Bans. But I do know this. That's a great concern you brought up with them being able to work actually. You know, saying personalized route even more oh, wow, this person does this. A pair of these glasses, so I still might get it. But using the AI assistant is something that I can definitely see that is beneficial. But I'm not too keen on giving up my personal data. So, I got to read the fine print. So, y'all, when y'all get these glasses, definitely read the fine print and see if we're giving up any data. But you brought up a lot of great points. Blue, the floor is yours.
T, you already know we giving up that data. You already know we're giving up that data. Let's not even go down a wormhole. It's like it's going to be like it's going to be to a point. Like I'll give a really good example. Those of us that have Hulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Disney, one of their parks, and say you slip and fall and you hurt your back,
Mm-hmm.
you can't sue them because terms and conditions, Hulu. So it's going to be.
You got to repeat that. Did you just say if you signed up on your, let's say you got a Roku TV and you got the Disney Hulu bundle, you just bundled that. And for signing up for this streaming service, if you happen to go to the Disney World Park, any one of these parks or the lands or whatever, and you actually bust your ass, you cannot sue them. Is that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
Yo, that's wild. That's a violation. Yo, you know what? I need a flag, man. I need to throw a flag on the play, B. Disney,
But you can sue
that's
Disney.
flag.
You can sue Disney.
No. If you have Hulu, you cannot sue Disney because in your terms and conditions, you signed over your rights. So if you have like Disney Plus, you have Hulu Plus, you signed over your rights to Disney because Disney is like umbrella of like Walt Disney. Yeah, if you Plus or Hulu, we can't sue. We can't sue Disney if we go to the park and we slip and fall. I didn't mean to hijack the topic, but there was a point.
Yo, that is so wild. Disney, y'all super foul for that, yo. The amount of money y'all make is retarded, yo. And it can't be that many people busting their ass out there and suing Disney like that. And I'm sure they probably got a cap on how much they can pay people when people get injured out there. Like, that's wild. Like, even what if a ride malfunctions and you know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be some kind of, stipulation to this, man. That's crazy. Man, listen.
No, seriously, somebody got stuck on what was it? The mountain? What's it called? Whatever, something mountain, where it's like the log jammer kind of thing, roller coaster. Um, they got hurt on that thing, and they had like a whole thing.
You know about conspiracy theories. That's not even conspiracy theory. That's like she's saying that I gotta look into that. That is so crazy to me, yo. Careful about these subscriptions that you are signing up for. You got to read the fine print, stuff like that. I would have never even thought about. But man, thank you for that information. Thank you for that information. So now, would you buy a pair of these glasses? Because I know you wear glasses, Blue.
Yeah, I would also like really know how to offline your glasses because to all the points that we were talking about, very similar to like Ring doorbell. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have a Ring doorbell, but I'm gonna have a hardwired Ring doorbell versus like a wireless. But yeah, I would get the glasses. but I would use them only at certain times because it's just conditioning you to be live, record, and turn every single
data, all your data. Man, you guys brought up a lot about all of these topics so far, man. I really, really appreciate both of y'all perspective, man. So yeah, just be careful. Read the man. Speaking of giving up, your boy Beaver, man, he might want to give up on his NFT journey, man, because man, this happened about like a week ago or so. But I thought this was interesting because we got to talk about it. All right. I believe Blue, she brought this to my attention. So I remember when he bought this and he overpaid at that time. He bought a peak. Let me talk about Justin Bieber. This is what I'm talking about. Justin Bieber, right? Justin Bieber once paid about $1.3 million for a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT. All right. Edition number 3001. All right. At the time, he spent about 500 ETH at the height of the 2022 NFT boom. All right. So today, that NFT is estimated to be worth around 12K, representing a loss more than 99%. As the broader NFT market collapsed after the hype cycle faded. All right. So I got some a lot in this platform with my was a rap. But the cartoon ape avatar that granted access to exclusive communities and events and merch, right? So I'm gonna just tell you like this. Um Bored Ape. Bored Ape. When I first saw it, I didn't like the crude monkey drawings when I had the opportunity to buy it. I literally had the opportunity to buy it. It was like $300, something like that. Didn't buy it. Financially, if I knew what it was gonna do what it do, I would have bought it. But no, because of the art, I didn't buy it. But for Justin Bieber to buy a basically when you buy an NFT, all right, for people that don't know, there's different tiers. So you got like a common that your rares, you got ultra rares, then you got like a secret rare. The secret rares are like the most after because they're like Bored Apes, traits that other apes don't have. You know, like certain glasses, certain hats, certain shirts, certain jackets. And because there's only, let's say, 10 of these Bored Apes with this jacket or these glasses or this hat, that makes them more rare. So because he jumped in this space without doing no research, he just bought a common edition, a regular old Bored Ape NFT, right? At the peak, he paid 1.3. Now, mind you, even at that point, he should have paid for that common one. It would have been like 150K, maybe 200,000 for the most basic one. But I guess he was just so geeked up to be in it and like, yo, I gotta flex. Let me just spend all this bread. Man, listen, I wish I would have caught a celebrity just willing to just flex and spend excessive amount of money for something that it was ridiculous. You know, that guy who still doesn't make that NFT. How much connection I can go on. Word to the wise, man. So word to the wise. If you jumping in on any NFT project nowadays, you might want to make sure it has utility, some kind of benefits, a strong community. Because truth be told, I haven't bought an NFT in a long time. And no, I'm lying. I bought a Street Fighter NFT about like a month ago. And that's only on Vivi. I only buy Vivi NFTs now. I really don't buy no other NFTs. And I bought dozens of NFTs on all kind of platforms from all different blockchains, whether it was the Flow blockchain, the Tezos blockchain, Polygon. Man, listen. I was looking at my Biggie NFT the other day, and I was like, man, those Biggie NFTs are like $15. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, it's crazy, yo. Just know that. Just be careful if you're jumping into this space, and more than likely NFTs going forward, they will have more utility, especially. So, cheers.
I'll say that was expected. If there had been a time like 2022, there will never be another time like 2022. I think that was a period of time, man. I'll just say this. Peter wasn't the only one who got. You know, there are individuals just like when they were buying other deeds, these cats were paying $50K just off of like gas, just to buy the deed. Now I will say this: I do believe that that club will be successful because of what they're building and how they're building. I love their community. I just can't get with the branding. I love their community. Actually, visuals behind the NFTs. I don't like some of their plays and some of the things that are just, if he holds it, that he should have an opportunity because of who he bought it from and what that ape is supposed to provide to him. I think with the club and what they're building in other side and some of their MasterCard collaborations, I do believe that they'll be successful and it'll be just fine. But yeah, that's my take.
Well, you definitely sounded more optimistic than me about Bored Ape Yacht Club. I know because you know people personally who got some apes. I feel like their branding sometimes a hit or miss. I heard Ape Fest sometimes they be kind of lit. The big ape NFT. And I wish I would sold that at the $100 for the NFT, and the shit in 2022 peaked at like 7,500 at the like a fucking like a digital flex. I got caught up in the hype too. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a graphic designer, and you know NFTs were like holy grail, man. So I had some NFTs that were worth some bread. I wish I would have sold them at their peak prices, man. So BB ain't the only one. I feel for him, but not really because shit, he's a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of what, yeah, it was fun though. Yeah, like that was a time, like you said, Blue. That was a time. If you was around for the 2021, 2022 NFT run, man, whew, I miss those days. I really miss those days. I still got screenshots. That's all I got screenshots is now.
Yo, fam, like seriously, like like going to spaces where people were having Jerry Springer episodes. It's like created in it's crazy. Especially back then. And so like all of us would come on an X Spaces every morning and we would have like our whole little crypto conversation or whatever. And we had some individuals come and call out one of our traders. Do you know we all rolled up like we was in the hood, in the space, talking to, what was boy's name? Bark. I don't know if you remember like those kind of spaces, but we pulled up in there and was like, "Yo, we heard you was talking about da 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 da." But yeah, those are the times like not sleeping, people like pouring out their hearts. I'm just here. Please buy my NFT. Like, yo, those are some wild days.
Man, Blue, I miss those fucking days. Yeah, the Twitter Spaces was crazy around that time. It's just I would jump into certain Twitter Spaces and everybody PFP would be a boy. Nobody and it go on for hours. You know, you walk. That was Cheese, man. We gotta get you up on the stage on this, man. What's your share as far as getting hit with a rug pull, or I know you. Hey, you did mention you went to a Beeple event out there in the Carolinas, and you said you haven't redeemed that Beeple thing, man. So you might want to check into that, Cheese.
Yeah, I gotta find it first. I gotta find the paper NFTs that he gave out. He gave away paper airdrop, literally airdropped NFTs from the sky.
That's fucking crazy, Cheese. You got to find that, man. That's who knows how much that thing is worth right now, man. You know what I mean? You could be paid off some shit with that thing. You never know, man. And he got another event coming up too with Shepard Farley too. That's the guy who a brand and Hope Barack Obama. So that's from RT4 RT kind of guy, man. I'm a graphic designer. But Cheese, yeah, what's your thoughts in your NFT journey, man?
I really, despite like my really like not any ones that I had to fight over people for. Like the first NFT that I bought was I don't remember if it was the first or second, but the first two NFTs that I bought was Akutar. I don't know if you guys remember the baseball player. I forgot his name.
Cool. Yeah, Micah Johnson.
Micah Johnson,
yeah,
yes,
they're cool.
Micah Johnson.
I got one of them cool joints too.
Yeah, so I bought the cool, and yeah, I like the story. Right, so that's how I really picked my NFTs that I purchased back at that time. I just like the story, so I bought myself for the cool, right, and when was like at one point invested with Rock Nation and Pusha T, and you could see like in the clips, if you bought some of the video clips that they had in their collection, you could see like little Easter eggs, right, that were to come. So Aku, I love Aku, and the other one that I have that I fuck with is there's two more that I have that I fuck with. Lupe Fiasco, he also dropped a NFC collection back then as well. So I got one of Lupe Fiasco's NFTs. He hasn't really done anything exclusive with it yet though. But it was cool when it came out. And then the last one that I have that I like, well, there's more ones.
Was one of them the Porsche? I'm a blue. You was telling me about, brother?
Yeah, okay. I was about to talk about three more.
Oh damn! All right, yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, I got the Porsche NFT, and that was because I had known someone who had one before they jumped up in price, and then when he had his initially, he got they flew like some of their first holders out to Germany to the Porsche factory, and he had to get taken on a whole tour of the facility and dinner, trackside, and just be amongst other Porsche enthusiasts. So after I saw him that type of experience, when the same star rating for like the food and stuff like that. So if they ever get back to building up the program, I'm assuming like Michelin holders can get access to like exclusive dinners and stuff like that, or events. So that's another one. And then the last one that I was going to highlight is I also bought this one when the prices came down. There was a if you guys know Nick, what's his name? Sean with the Spoon, the streetwear designer who used to work at Nike.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm familiar with him.
Yeah. So he when he left Nike, he started working on his own brand. So one of his brand is what's the name of that brand? I forgot. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, his collection, it came out with it at first for people that were invited. Basically, that they're doing what could be potentially cool for thrift wear. If you're a thrifter, you get they find pieces and they re-engineer it, and if you are a holder, you could get access to stuff like that first. But I gotta find the NFT. I forgot what it was.
Yo, Cheese, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You had me think about two NFTs that I totally forgot about, dog. I bought so many NFTs, I forgot about shit. Yo, we trying to get Easy Money up on stage too, man, because I've been trying to get him up on stage. I sent him an invite, and because I know he got some things that he want to share as far as the NFT space and all that. I sent an invite. Oh man, he's not even up here no more. Damn, he might have got rugged. Easy money. Hopefully, you pop on the face, man. We'll get it, man. But you be paper hat. He illustrated, and I had bought Tinker Hatfield, and you know and shit. You know what I'm saying? I bought his, and I gotta check the price on them shits now. I don't know that platform. That was the One Of platform. Matter of fact, I bought mad NFTs on One Of because that's where I bought my Biggie NFT on. But then you made me think about my cool NFT, and I just thought about it. I think I lost access to it because it was on Reddit. So Reddit had they Snoo, that was their logo, their little character called Snoo, SNOO, and they had partnerships with like the NFL and all of that. So I got a couple of NFL ones, but I caught a cool Reddit NFT, man, and I believe they shut down their NFT platform, and now it's messed up because I ain't got that NFT no more, man. I should have just put it in my wallet. I ain't even gonna lie. There's been a few NFTs that I'm gonna take your NFTs out of this wallet and put them in your wallet, man. The pain I put in the NFT market, man. It's three that's still holding on. Still cool. I'm waiting for. All right, so check it. We got our guy E3. He's up on the stage. He's part of the TCK Web3 News Roundtable. He's one of the co-hosts. He'll come through and hold it down when Cheese or Tia, when they couldn't pull up, man. E3, we got you on stage. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm good. Just making some spaghetti right now. But hey, on this NFT topic, real quick, I'm not gonna say any names. I just thought it was funny to jump up here. And there's one big project that I'm thinking about right now that I thought was gonna really, really take off. And if y'all know what I'm talking about. But it's surrounded right now. Yeah.
Yo, E,
Damn, I want to know. Come on, you gotta tell me.
Dang, man. Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay, you ain't gotta do it. You ain't gotta do it. I know he was gonna say, don't do it. All right, my bad, yo. Shout out to them. If you know, you know. I think I'm pretty sure I know who he was gonna say. Yo, listen. Yo, Marlon said it, man. He was like, yo, I was in the cohort. He told us, man, like there was 1 week, like, yo, why are you doing this? Like 99% of Web3 companies fail. So sometimes, shit don't work out. We support it. They got a lot of support in the community. But man, oh man. Yeah, you know what? I had a fun ride. It was a great experience, man. I just tell you, like, yo, crazy. Cause I was gonna say something, but if I would have said it, y'all would shout out to. But yo, I'm gonna send another request to our guy B to see if he can get up, man. See if he can pop up on stage. E3, you said you had some more thoughts on some more NFT projects though? Alright, it looked like you might having technical difficulties, brother. Oh man, E3 had technical difficulties. Just Cheese. I might have to put you back up on stage because it looked like you got rugged too. I don't know what's going on, man. My co-host got rugged. Our other E3, our guy E3 popped up on stage. He got rugged. Our guy Brandon got rugged. All right. Nah, we good though. We cooking. We still cooking, man. So I appreciate everybody listening. I appreciate everybody's thoughts. I appreciate everybody's commentary. Man. So for this last story, and hopefully guys easy money pop up in the speech again. I want to hear his thoughts because he actually he actually on a DeFi protocol. I gotta tell you about it because this is sad. This can happen to anyone, right? So let's talk about it. B, I'm gonna give you props on this because you were the one to bring it to light, and I'm gonna invite you to speak. So there was a crypto trader who lost nearly $50 million during a single DeFi trade after attempting to swap $50 million worth of the stablecoin Tether for the tokens on the Aave platform. Okay, so the transaction routed through COW swap executed with extreme price impact due to low liquidity, leaving the trader with only about 324 Aave tokens worth about $36,000, despite a clear warning about the extraordinary slippage shown for the trade. Are reversible. Honestly, I don't know how he didn't pay attention, but when these platforms don't have the liquidity and you still making these trades, you are at risk of losing your money. This dude was trying to buy, it seemed like he was just trying to buy some Aave tokens with $50 million worth for Tether. And it looked like this platform didn't have the liquidity. They didn't have it. They only had about $36,000 worth of Aave tokens that they gave him, bro. Now the fucked up part is like the fees was $600,000, so he's getting some of his money back, the fees, but he lost. Yo, I can't even imagine losing 50 M's, bro, on a fucking trade because you're trying to buy the dip on one of your favorite fucking blockchains. Okay, yo, your favorite blockchain is Chainlink. You about to just, or your 50 million that for Chainlink. Ask calls. What's your thoughts? Losing 50 M's. Oh, moment of silence. We got. Can
we all just take him out, man?
We got virtually hold hands. I'm gonna take off my hat, and then we gonna say we got a moment of silence. We gotta give you 6 seconds. 6 seconds. All right, moment of silence. Man, my heart goes out to you, bro. My heart goes out to you, Aave DeFi trader. I feel sorry for you, bro.
See, there's so many ways we can go with this, but let's just go with it as though this was on accident, and he didn't know any better with that large of a transaction. Because if I wanted to, like, I don't know, claim that loss in taxes, it just doesn't. I'm just like, what we doing? I need that are using that large of amount. You should check liquidity before you do that type of trade. Maybe he didn't know better. And that is the lesson of today, is make sure that if you do very large transactions like that, that market actually has the liquidity, because there's something that we all learned from, and it's called FTX, invisible money, play money, pretend money. There's a game called Monopoly, and we all used to play it, and people still play it. It's with paper money. And so, like, when you do these exchanges and they give all these pluses and perks and things like that, you really need to do your research. There are really large entities that just got in trouble for having AI agents pretend to trade a certain way, but then turn around and do something else and then rug the community, because people are, like, copy trading. So, yeah, man, this is a wild story. Like,
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think from a technical standpoint, right, this is, you have to believe that the person is either was just, like, in a rush and made a big mistake, or don't know much about the space at all, or, they got money to blow. So, 50 mil here ain't that much of a big deal, but this really just points. This is more of a technical story, of anything, right? The technical thing that also Blue was highlighting is this: you just gotta know when there's liquidity in these platforms, in this house swap platform that you're using. Like, find the safest, best education, and again, with someone who is moving that much money on top platform, don't care, blow.
Yo, Cheese, you said 50 million ain't a lot. I can't even hypothetically act like they ain't a lot of money. Like relative to like some of the richest people in the world, that may not be a lot of money, but even if he had it like that, that is still, even if you're a billionaire and you lose 50 M's, that's $50 million. That's a lot of paper, man. But yeah,
I mean,
go ahead, Cheese.
what Aisha Diaz said she want?
Oh, you want to talk about Aisha Diaz, the 50 grand? Let's talk about it. I like that. That's a great segue. No, Cheese,
but
you brought it up. That's a great segue. It's great. I got thoughts. I want to share my thoughts. All right. I like the fact that you brought up Aisha Diaz. Shout out to Aisha Diaz. She know her worth. She a baddie. Okay. The way I look at it, number one, first, just the celebrity millionaires. That's number one. We think about her OnlyFans model. When they, because if you hear what she said if you want to have me kept, you know what a kept woman is? That means you taking care of a woman. If you want to take care of her, she said it's 50 bands, 40 to 55 bands, because relatively speaking, that's what she makes on OnlyFans. So that's like me telling a shorty like, yo, I don't want you to do OnlyFans, but I want you to be my girl. If she making $45,000 to $50,000 a month for OnlyFans, I'm not gonna tell her to stop her job. Keep doing OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing OnlyFans. But I still might rock with you. You know what I mean? That's like, cause for real, man, I date in my age, my wage. I date my wage. I'm big on dating my age. I, situation where person, a woman is making 50 do OnlyFans. Yeah, you're gonna have them 50 bands, bro. She can do it without you. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock her hustle and her lifestyle. You know, would I pay 50 bands for her? No, I won't. I would import a woman from Brazil or from Ghana or, you know, one of these fly exotic places. And yeah, I'll just take me a woman out of a mud hut or from poverty somewhere and I'll just clean her up and boom, I got my own Aisha Diaz. You heard? That's just my opinion on that. That's just my opinion. Blue, what's your thought? I got to ask your opinion. What's your thoughts on this, Blue? Because, you know, being a lady on the pod, what's your thoughts when you heard Aisha Diaz talking about, yo, it takes 45, 50K to keep me?
No comment. That is not my brand. I'm going to pass the mic.
Yo, I didn't think he was going to curb that one. Oh, oh, she does. Okay, I thought she was having a Blue usually. OnlyFans page look like just to see what is, you know, what is hitting on. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to date a woman who's a millionaire and I'm not a millionaire. This ain't gonna work out right. I ain't gonna feel right. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. I prefer to make more money than my woman. But if she make more money than me, she still would have to know how to be a woman and be a lady about shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because you make more don't mean you wear the pants. But technically, some people feel like, yeah, if a woman make more, she wear the pants. Yo, listen, man. I ain't even trying to be in that situation, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. You heard? Speaking of t-shirts, I got this fly Crypto Crew merch on. So if you want some new Crypto Crew merch, or if you want to get the Blockchain Boys merch, go to igetbusy.com. You see the business sign on the table if you're watching live on Instagram and YouTube. igetbusy.com, you heard? That's with Z's. igetbusy, you heard? But yeah, man. Cheese, that was a funny segue, man. I like that you brought up the HD. Yes, baby. What's your thoughts, brother? You know, tapped out HD. It was so good. Yo, this is so crazy. You know how many rabbit holes we go down as far as conspiracy theorists, man? We go down all these conspiracy theory rabbit holes, and this is just a light surface topical conversation about a young lady getting her coins, man. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that mum's the word from my co-host on this one, man. This is okay. They keeping it strictly crypto. I'm not even. You're staying on brand. You know what? I like that. I respect the fact that my co-hosts are staying on brand with crypto, and we don't do celebrity gossip unless it's pertaining to crypto. So I like the fact that y'all guys are trying to stay on brand. You know, we try to keep this family-friendly show. But That was funny, yo. That was funny. But with all that being said, it is 6:20. We knocking on 2 hours, and I definitely appreciate everybody tapping in today. Like I said, if you watching us on Instagram, if you watching us on YouTube, you know what I'm saying. I even got a cheese. I don't know if you guys saw that, but you mentioned something that um Ian Dunlap had mentioned on their platform, Blackout, and I just happened to have an InvestFest that I'm sipping at blue cheese on deck, you heard? And appreciate the thoughts coming from our guy E3 who hopped up on stage earlier. We tried to get our guy Brandy Easy Money up on stage, but he was having technical difficulties. So on top of that, we gotta give a shout out to Stand with Crypto, for holding down our events. Shout out to ETH Global. If you haven't signed up for the ETH Global event that we got going on this Thursday, Off the Chain Thursdays at the Rice Center, please sign up. We looking forward to seeing y'all out there. There's some people that we met at the World Cup Ready event, and I'm gonna invite them out there as well. There was a gentleman from I don't even want to give that alpha up, but yeah, your boy's working on some things behind the scene, man, to get some stuff crack-a-lacking. You heard, but it's all about this 3D printing right now. That's what we doing. Go. I'm proud of myself for that. And again, shout out to Mint and Cheese. Got these dope ass. Excuse me. We got dope ass 3D printed items that we have cooked up, y'all. And man, we got the website popping, mintandmarquee.xyz. So you can get you some Lionel Messi jerseys in the frame, and also got some other leagues that's cooking up. All right, I ain't gonna let the cat out the bag, but yes, soccer isn't the only league that we gonna cook up these jerseys for. You heard? So just know that we gonna be steady cooking up some fly ass 3D printed objects for y'all. So yeah, that's what we do around here. Shout out to our guy Ant Mathis. Shout out to our guy E3, Mr. Wonderful, the wonderful crypto, I should say. Actually, our guy B Wise. Shout out to Unique. We appreciate you tapping in, man. Shout out to my guy Tony. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to my co-host Just Cheeze and Blue. Appreciate everybody tapping in. You could have been in the world, but you're here to get 3 alpha. Sunday, see if you can come up with best actor, and so everybody, we out. And I'm gonna play a song because this is Women's History Month, so we're gonna play a song. Probably another one of my favorite joints. You know what I'm saying? But I really, really appreciate everybody tapping in. On YouTube, I gotta shut it down, but everybody listening on Twitter, y'all be able to hear the vibes, all right? So this is what we gonna go out on. This is one of my joints right here. Oh no, hold up. My music ain't connected, y'all. My music ain't connected. Hold up. Let me get the music connected. I turned it off. Let's turn on the vibes right quick. Give me about 10 seconds, and I'm gonna cue this joint up right quick. You heard. Alright, so this is how we go out.